Hello everyone, this is Lunch, and I want to talk about a deck I've been playing at locals. I've been having pretty good success with it. I've gotten top 4 a couple times, and I'm looking for that win-win. I keep going X1, but even then, it's been doing pretty well. I took it to a case tournament, did reasonably well there too, but the reason I wanted to bring out and kind of show, other than the fact that it's a really fun deck, is the entire deck is less than $90. And that's something that's really hard to find right now, is like a deck you can take to locals, be successful with, still do well at events while not, costing $1 million. This entire deck costs less than 1 time warp, which is kind of crazy. And the deck is Yasuo, Unforgiven, and his leader ability is you can pay 2 and tap him to move a unit to or from your base. Now this is good, but it's better than it appears at first glance too, because of how the mechanics of this game works. If you take a unit from your base and move it with Yasuo's ability to an occupied base, then it forms an attack. So it's just like you tapped it to move it. And this is very good because essentially it gives our entire deck Accelerate for 2 resource, which, I mean, it's only 1 less than normal Accelerate, and Accelerate is absolutely broken right now. It's one of the things that make Thousand Tail Wasser and Kaisa so strong. So essentially it gives all our units Accelerate. It also can do things like we can move a unit to a base to capture it and then use Unforgiven ability to move it back to protect it from battle next turn. There's also extra draw triggers we can get off things like that. It's just a really, really strong, really good utility ability. A lot of times you can use it as simply as play a 2-cost unit on like 4 or 6 resources and move it right away for a point capture. This is going to be a very tempo style deck, so we need to get those points early. I'm running Even Split, Calm Chaos. It's a pretty even split on what we need. I will come back to the battlefields after the main deck. Starting off, we play one of Yasuo. The only reason we're really playing this is because we need it for our legend. That being said, it does do very well late. Usually it's one of the last cards you kind of play in the game. It's not something you want to get out fast, because you want to be able to get him out and move him in the same turn, because whenever he attacks, he deals damage equal to his might to a unit. So basically he comes in, kills something, and then fights something else. A lot of times you'll just take the base instantly. And we're pretty much always going to want to play this for 8 with our Unforgiven ability. Notably, we do have things in this deck like Ongar, Mask of Foresight. You can use these preemptively to your battle, and then swing in with Yasuo for higher damage. 2 of Defy, easy counter spell, good into certain decks, just a really solid thing you always want to have in green. Currently I'm only playing 2 in the main because I've seen kind of a rise in cards you either can't counter, or things like Victor where it's just not quite as strong. 3 of Stack Deck. This is one of the cards in the deck that actually costs money, as stack decks are like $7, $8 right now. However, we need this because we also play Nocturne, you will see later. However, it's just a really solid card. It's an action, so you can play it on either player's turn. And it's just look at the top 3, add 1 to your hand, you can kind of pick out whatever you want. 2 of On Guard. We only played 2 of these because I ran out of space for the 3rd one. But you'll notice we don't have a ton of units in this deck, and a lot of them try to stand by themselves. So it's just a really solid +2 for 1 resource. 3 Charm. So this was a new addition. I bought it up from 2 to 3 because I kept having issues with people leaving their units at base, and this is a removal we have for that. We can do things like put Yasuo, put one of like a Stalwart Poro down early, and a lot of time just a Charm can kind of throw the game way in your favor if you can eliminate all their units. 2 of Mask of Foresight, same thing with Yonguard. We're playing it because a lot of times, especially early in the game, we have a lot of units that attack or defend alone. And anytime we use our Unforgiven ability, it is also going to send the unit by itself. This also combos nicely because it puts Yasuo up to 7, which kills a lot of units. Standard 3 and 3 of Traveling Merchant and Poro. These are just the best 2-cost units in these colors. Nicely with Merchant, a lot of times we can get extra triggers because of our ability. Next up, we have 3 of Discipline, easy stat boost and draws a card, very strong. Fight or Flight is very useful either to protect our units sometimes or to force our opponent's unit back. It's really good against Thousand Tail Watcher. It's also really good at like protecting our big units if we want to hang on to them. It's also a movement trigger too, so if we want to use it with Merchant or something, we can. 2 of Tide Turner. This is something I added recently and I've really been liking. This deck really, really needs a unit on the first turn, and there just isn't a lot of good options in green-purple. It's basically like this, or like Poro Visionary, or the one that like you can pay a might to draw a card, but I didn't really like either of those that much in here. Plus, Tide Turner, on occasion, especially in late game, his hidden ability can win you games. I won a game just this past weekend because I plopped one of these down, and then when they tried to swing into my base, because I controlled both bases, I just moved my big unit over to the other base, which they couldn't take anymore, and won the game. So it's got solid utility late game. Other than that, it's just a 2-drop we can play on 2 if we need to. One of Zhonya's. I like Zhonya's, it's good in here, but I don't ever find myself needing more than one. That being said, it's a strong card. It is another one of the cards that costs money in this deck. 2 of Wielder of Water. I was trying to find more units, and this is kind of what I came up with. It's solid. This is definitely a flex slot, though. If you want to play riskier with less units in your deck, you could slot in some more removal or something like that. 1 of Windwall. This card is crazy good in certain matchups. It stops a lot of the win button cards in the format. It stops Canthian Rain. It stops Time Warp. It also stops the +5/+5 thing that Victor's playing, as long as some other things. Windwall's just very solid. We'll play more on our side, but we only have 1 in the main. We have Nocturne. So this is a card I don't see a lot of people playing, and it kind of confuses me. I understand that like sometimes you draw it and it's not the best thing in the world, but it's incidental advantage that's just can completely take over games. If you get this on turn 1 or 2, a lot of times you'll just win. And even if you do have to play him, it's not like it's the end of the world. Like a 4-cost 4 power with ganking isn't even bad. It's not like ideal, obviously there's stronger things, but we do have in our deck Stack Deck, which can find him, as well as Candlelit Sanctum, which I will talk about in the future. Next up, we have Mind Splitter. Mind Splitter is one of the best cards in this deck. It's a solid card in a lot of other decks, but the thing about Mind Splitter in this is when you play it, you choose an opponent, they reveal their hand and discard it. There's no window for them to play an action in response to this, so a lot of the removal spells in this game are actions, not necessarily reactions. So if you drop a Mind Splitter, a lot of times they can't actually respond with the card they want to respond with, and then you can just take it out of their hand. It also preemptively removes like the big cards of the format, and a lot of times it comes out on the turn before they come through as well, taking up things like Mind Warp, Thousand Tail Watcher, things like that. And if you're taking your last card from your opponent in this game, it's really crippling because you're only drawing 1 card a turn, and once you get low on cards, it's really hard to get back up. It's also a 7-cost 7, and in this deck, it essentially has Accelerate for 2. Because we can move it with Unforgiven ability, it becomes significantly better, because now not only are we playing Mind Splitter, ripping a card out of their hand, we know every card in their hand, so we know all their options, and we know what fights are safe. So it will usually come down, remove something from their hand, and then immediately take a battlefield, probably killing 1 to 2 units. It's incredibly strong in here, and it's way better than in other decks. Nocturne costs money. Mind Splitter's like $3. The last thing is 3 of Tasty Fey Folk. This naturally has Accelerate, so a lot of times we won't have to use Yasuo's effect. But it has Death Knell, Channel 2 Runes Exhausted, and Draw 1. A lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to get to like 7-8 resources, and you're like, well, do I want to play, and you don't necessarily want to play Mind Splitter yet. You can pop this down and it sets up you up really nicely for the rest of the game. Because if you go on 7, Tasty Fey Folk, then next turn you're going to be able to Mind Splitter and move it. Which is a very solid card. Accelerate's really good late game. A lot of times 6 power is plenty in order to take bases. Just a very, very good card in general. This is another card that's a little bit of money. My current sideboard, and this is very flexible, I'm still kind of working on it. Up to the 3rd Defy, because certain decks it's really good against, like Jinx. I love Defy against Jinx, because you can stop Mega Death Rocket and a lot of their other spells. 2 more Wind Walls. For decks like Kaisa and, honestly, Victor as well, I really want to play 3 Wind Wall. And a lot of times Defy comes out against Victor, by the way, because it can defeat their, like, press button and win kind of strategies. 2 Adaptatron. This is for Aura decks or Heavy Gear decks. It could also be used... It's going to be a lot better next set once we get all the equipments. but it's a solid 4/3, and when it conquers, you get a buff, and you get to kill a gear. 2 of Mystic Reversals, this is for Kai'Sa specifically. This is probably a little overkill. To be honest, I'm kind of looking for something else for one of the spots, as well as the Raza. Raza doesn't need to be in here, I just needed another card. Next up, I want to talk about the battlefields. The Dreaming Tree is obvious. This is just kind of the best battlefield in the game right now. And we have On Guard and Discipline, as well as, like, we could technically Fight or Flight as well in order to draw more cards. Mostly it's to make, like, Discipline a draw too. Just a very solid card in base in general. A lot of people are playing it. Treverian War Camp, I actually want to change. I've been having issues with like the uptick of Victor decks that I've been having to play against, and playing this into Victor makes it so hard to win that I think I have to take it out. Originally I had it in here because it gives you good power numbers versus Kai'Sa and their removal things. It makes it so like Yasuo and Tasty Faithful can't be killed by Falling Star. It also makes it so like your 2 guys with a +1 and then like another +1 from On Guard or something don't die to Falling Star. But I think that it's just too bad against Victor, so I'm going to be switching it for something else. Even though it is good into Kai'Sa, depending on what your local meta is, you could probably change the slot up. And then there's Candlelit Sanctum, which is something that doesn't get played very often, but it's when you conquer here, look at the top 2 cards, you may recycle one or both if you don't put those back in any order. The reason we play this is for Nocturne specifically, because if you see it off of Nocturne, then you get to play him for 1 might, which is crazy. A lot of times I want to play this when I'm specifically going first, and the reason for that is on turn 1, you know, we both play a unit, and turn 2 you can immediately conquer Sanctum and look for your Nocturne. And I mean, even if you don't hit Nocturne, looking at top 2, putting wherever you want is very strong. So a lot of times I'll lead with Dreaming Tree or War Camp, kind of depending. And then if I win, I'll save Sanctum for game 3. If I lose, Sanctum will come out game 2 because I know I'm going first. That being said, I think for the cost, this deck is really, really strong. Is it have the numbers of like a fully statted out Kai'Sa deck? Probably not, but it can definitely beat it. And I don't think it's worse than like 60-40. So, you know, if you're going to a, you know, regional, Yasuo is a little brave of a take. It can still win. A different version of this got, I think, 4th at the case tournament I played at. He was playing some more of the expensive stuff, but this deck can definitely win locals. It's definitely strong enough if you want to go try the game out for yourself, but you don't want to spend, you know, $500-600 on a deck. Another nice thing about Yasuo is because, like, his ability is game mechanic, so move a friendly unit to the base, not only does that get way stronger next set, as there's a couple cards that are really, really good for him, but it just teaches you really good game mechanics. Like the plussing, minusing, action, reaction, hidden. It has all of the game mechanics in the game put together, which really will make you a better player in general. So this is a great deck if you're new and you want to just get better at the game. That being said, let me know, what do you think about Budget Yasuo? You think you've got some ideas to make it better? If you have another base I should play instead of War Camp, or some ideas for the side, I would love to hear those as well. All in all, the deck's super fun. I'm really looking forward to the cards we get next set, and I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. Bye-bye!